Welcome to my stories. I'm Voices and Voses. On this channel, we'll explore the power of learning languages through stories. Learning a new language is not just about words, it's about understanding cultures and perspectives. Stories make this journey more engaging and memorable. If you're ready, let's jump in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let's connect in the comments to make these stories even better.
Emma got off the plane. The air touched her face. It was not hot, not cold, just in the middle. That's how she felt too. She was on a trip alone. A long time ago she planned trips with someone. But now, it was only her. The dream changed. She had to continue it alone. The airport was full of people. She heard Italian voices, children shouting, and the sound of bags. Emma looked around with big eyes. She stopped and looked outside. "Rome," she said quietly. "I'm really here," she whispered. She smiled a little, but her smile was also sad. "We wanted to be here together," she thought. Then she shook her head. She was alone now, but maybe this was a new beginning. At the baggage area, she looked at the bags. Big bags, small bags, black, red. But her bag was not there. She waited. People took their bags. The place became quiet. Only a few bags were left. Emma's bag was not one of them. Her heart beat faster. "Maybe it's on another belt," she thought. But deep inside, she knew it was lost. She went to the airport staff. She told them about her bag. A kind man wrote her name and details. He said, "Maybe your bag will come on the next flight. Please wait." Emma sat down. She looked at her phone. No messages, no sounds, just waiting. She opened her backpack. There was her passport, wallet, notebook, and one t-shirt. No other clothes, no shampoo, no makeup. She thought about a small charm from her mother. It had lavender inside. It was in the lost bag. Her chest felt heavy. Next to her, an older woman looked at her. "Did you lose your bag?" the woman asked with a kind smile. Emma nodded. "Italy teaches patience," the woman said. Emma gave a small smile. But inside, she still felt very alone. Emma didn't know what to do. Her suitcase might come, or it might not. There was still no news. She didn't want to wait any longer. A few hours later, she thought about calling the staff again on her phone. She stopped at the airport door. She checked her phone for the hotel address. It was a small hotel near Termini Station. She booked it a long time ago. That time, she planned the trip with her boyfriend. Now, she was going there alone. She didn't want to wait at the airport anymore. She asked the worker again, but still no news. Maybe she would find a way later. She got on the airport bus and sat near the window. As the bus moved, Emma saw more of Rome. Dry grass, old stone houses, small Vespas. Then, the bus turned. The view changed. Yellow buildings, clothes hanging outside, big doors, old writing on the walls. The city felt alive. Emma felt it too. She got off the bus. The sun was not strong, but it was warm. She looked at her phone again. The hotel was 10 minutes away. The streets in Rome were hard. Her backpack felt heavy. But she didn't check her phone again. She just walked. She looked at the windows, balconies and small shops. The city was full of stories. She arrived at the hotel. It was a stone building with flowers by the window. A friendly woman at the desk spoke English. Emma smiled. In her room, she lay on the bed. Her suitcase was still missing. The small charm from her mother was still missing too. She opened the window. A soft wind moved the curtain. She heard music, a violin playing far away. She stood up. She had to go outside. Rome at night was waiting for her. Emma started walking. She arrived at Piazza Navona. There were many people, but she didn't feel small. She felt strong. Street artists were painting pictures. Children were laughing. She smelled pizza. The city was busy, but she didn't feel tired. The city felt warm, like a hug. Emma was hungry, but the restaurants were too expensive. She walked into a small side street and saw a little bakery. Panetteria Antica. She went inside. A kind woman smiled. She didn't speak English, but said, "Pane? Focaccia?" Emma pointed. Focaccia and water. She sat on a small wall outside. The bread was warm. She took a bite and smiled. She felt like a real traveler. She opened her bag and took out her notebook. She wrote, "I came to Rome alone, but maybe for the first time I really feel here." Emma still remembered the taste of the focaccia. The rosemary and the olive oil were still on her tongue. She felt calm. She stood up and put her trash in her bag. The weather was getting cooler. She walked down a small street. It opened into another square. Campo de Fiori. The market was empty. The sun was going down. The sky looked orange. Then she heard music. A violin. It was slow and a little sad, but it felt familiar. In a small square, 2 old men were playing music. One had a violin, the other had an accordion. People were watching. Emma stood near a wall and listened. The music touched her heart. A young woman with curly hair sat next to her. She was eating ice cream. "They play here every day," she said. "Sometimes in the morning, too." Emma smiled. "I'm happy they're playing today," she said. "I really needed this," the woman smiled back. "Rome sometimes gives you a hug," she said. "Are you alone?" Emma thought for a second. "Yes." "And no," she said. "But now I'm alone." The woman's name was Chiara. She liked talking to tourists to practice her English. As the music played, Emma didn't feel lonely anymore. She felt free. When the music stopped, Chiara asked, "I'm going to Trastevere. Do you want to walk with me?" Emma waited a second. Then she smiled. "Why not?" As they walked, Chiara showed her the streets. "This building," she said, "was Fellini's house. He was a movie director." She pointed at a pizza place. "The pizza is expensive, but it's like first love. You never forget it." She showed a painting on the wall. "This man was my ex-boyfriend," she said, laughing. Emma laughed too. Then Chiara stopped. "Wait," she said. She looked at her phone and looked serious. "I want to show you something strange." They walked into a small passage. They went down old stone stairs. At the end, there was a big black metal door. The sign on it said, "Cinema Sogno, for dreams only." She opened the door slowly. It made a loud sound. Inside was an old movie theater. The screen was broken. Some chairs were on the floor. But there was still a projector in the middle. Chiara whispered, "This place is closed, but sometimes someone comes and plays a movie. Nobody knows who. People come. They sit and watch. But nobody talks." Emma didn't speak. She felt excited. Was it real? Or a story? Chiara turned to her and said, "Come tomorrow night. Maybe you will see it." In the morning, Emma went outside. The sun was shining. The air was cool. Everything seemed peaceful. She walked slowly to Piazza Navona. She thought about the movie and Chiara's advice. Then she saw a small stand on the street. The stand sold souvenirs. There were colorful jewelry, little statues, and pottery. It looked like Rome's art. Some tourists were buying things. Emma walked closer. The seller was an old man. He smiled and said, "Come, buy something to remember Rome." "I'm looking for something to remember Rome," Emma said, smiling. The man showed her small gifts. She liked one small figure, but the man showed her something else. "This is a special stone. It will bring you good luck," he said. Emma thought for a moment. She decided to buy it. The man said the stone was expensive, but it was very special. He said, "For you the price is good. You won't find another one like it." Emma bought the stone without thinking much, but the man took her money and ran away. When Emma checked the stone, she saw it was fake. The man was gone. Emma felt sad. She realized she was tricked. She thought Rome was a nice city, but now it felt different. The city seemed beautiful, but Emma was not happy. Chiara's words came back to Emma. "This city will hug you." But now, Emma felt alone. She felt something was missing. She felt lost in Rome after being scammed. Emma felt that her dreams were not real. Nothing was going as planned. The beautiful places didn't make her happy. She only felt more alone. She wanted to change something, but it felt harder every day. She walked slowly past Via dei Fori Imperiali. She remembered her old plans. She wanted to do everything with her partner, but now she was alone. The person she loved made her feel like life was slower. She wanted to change, but she lost confidence. Rome had many stories, but Emma couldn't find her story in them. The old paintings didn't shine. The old stones were still there, but Emma didn't feel happy. She felt empty and sad. She stopped for a moment. The sun was setting. A group of tourists was walking and laughing. They were happy, but Emma felt sad. She walked more, but it felt harder. Every step made her feel emptier. Finally, Emma stopped and sat on a bench. She took a deep breath and closed her eyes. The city was not like she had imagined. Maybe she needed more time. But the city didn't feel right for her. Emma started to like Rome, but maybe leaving was the best choice. Emma walked slowly to the hostel. She felt lonely, but the small, quiet streets of Rome made her feel a little better. The city didn't control her, but she hoped things might change. After walking for a while, she turned without thinking. She looked up but didn't look around. For a moment, she felt lost. Then she came to a corner with old stones and felt like she was in a different place. It felt like something changed. As she walked, she felt the special feeling of Rome, a place where time stopped but still had life. This place mixed old history and new life. At the end of the street, there were tall buildings like old palaces from the Roman Empire. The noise from the busy street on the other side was gone here. But what caught Emma's attention were the things she saw in the streets. An old church between tall buildings, small cafes where time seemed to stop, with stone floors covered in dust. Every corner had something new to see. The old buildings were made from stones from the Roman Empire. Emma thought about how these stones had been worn by footsteps for many years. After turning another corner and passing a small square, she saw a big old building. Here, the old walls of Rome met with history. Behind it, Emma smelled the wood from the old stones in the wind. She stopped for a moment and looked at the history around her. Far away, she saw a building like the Parthenon. Far from the noise of the city and tourists, Emma found herself in front of a cinema. She had been here before. Emma thought about going inside and walked to the door. There was a black door. It only had Cinema Sogno written on it. There was no one around. Emma thought for a moment, but she knew she was here and didn't want to wait any longer. She pushed the door open and went inside. It felt abandoned. It had an old feeling. There was no one inside, but something was there. An old projector was buzzing. Suddenly, the lights turned on and the curtain opened. Emma quietly sat in the back row. An old movie began on the screen. It was a black and white romantic comedy. A young man entered and sat next to Emma. After a few seconds, their eyes met, but they didn't speak. While the film continued, Emma got a message on her phone. It said, "Airline Company." She took her phone from her pocket and opened it. "Hello, Emma. Your suitcase has been found and sent to the airport. Please pick it up soon." Emma relaxed. Thinking her suitcase was lost had been stressful. She looked back at the movie for a while. She smiled. As the movie ended, the atmosphere in the cinema became stronger. She thought about the lost suitcase in Rome, the feeling of being tricked, and everything becoming harder. She slowly took her phone out of her pocket, and as she looked at the screen, a voice made her turn around. "Is this your first time here?" Emma looked up and saw the young man next to her. He had his bag on his shoulder. When their eyes met, there was a short silence. Emma smiled, a little shy. "Yes," she said. Then the young man moved toward the exit. "If you want to leave, we can walk together." Emma nodded. "Sure, why not?" she said. They left the cinema together and walked in the streets of Rome. It was night time. The lights were on, but the streets were still calm. Between the stone buildings and old cafes, the air felt different. After a while, they arrived at Via dei Fori Imperiali. The Colosseum, lit by the evening lights, looked very big. Emma looked up and said, "Wow, it's really big. I've always seen it in books, but being here is different." Lucas nodded. "Yes, seeing it with your own eyes is very different." It's amazing. They walked a little more. Emma stopped and looked at the stones around her. You can feel the history here. It's like everything is from another time. Lucas smiled. Yes, for sure. This place is always interesting, but at night it looks even more different. It feels special. They walked a little more, but they couldn't stop looking at the Colosseum. Emma was quiet for a moment. Lucas asked, Seeing such a big building surprises you, right? Emma said. Yes, it's so strange. Both beautiful and a little sad. The city became more beautiful with every step. Lucas said, This place is very nice, but it's even better at night. Emma nodded. Yes, the lights and everything. It feels different. I've never seen a place like this. Rome felt magical. Every corner, every building felt like a new story. Getting lost in the city became fun. The sound of the river, the smell of old stones, the lights. Everything was full of mystery. Emma stopped a few times to look around. As they walked, they got closer. The city was bringing them together. They walked and talked for a long time. They talked about many things. Emma's first day in Rome, Lucas's life, and the bad things that happened to Emma. They walked slowly to the hostel. Lucas walked slower, and finally they came to the door where Emma was staying. At that moment, there was a space between them and the crowd. Emma walked to the door, but stopped for a second. Lucas walked up to her. There was a moment of silence. Only the light from the street lamps and the sounds of the city could be heard. Lucas smiled and said, I think we've seen the city, with a smile. But I hope this place helped you find something about yourself. Emma paused, took a deep breath and smiled. I'm still looking, she said, but maybe I will find something here. Lucas looked into Emma's eyes, then slowly kissed her. The kiss was slow, calm, and just part of the moment. When the kiss ended, Lucas smiled again. Good night, he said. I hope the morning feels different for you. Emma smiled, a little surprised. Good night, she said, still feeling the warmth of the kiss. She opened the door and went inside, leaving Lucas's gaze behind. Maybe another day she would see more of Rome in a special way.